Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to learn how to create a furniture family in Revit. We're going to create a simple chair in this video. We're going to create a simple chair in this video. So to start off, let's create a new family and let's select the right template. So I'm going to select metric furniture from this list and click on open. All right, so we are welcomed in the family workspace of Revit. So here we have our reference planes. Now we're going to create a parametric chair family. So let's create some reference planes. So RP to create your reference plane. Now you could change the color of these reference planes as mentioned before. Now let's make these equal using the dimension tool. So tap DI on your keyboard and then create the dimension so like shown, and then click on the equal symbol. Now let's create a width parameter. Now generally when you're using a template, you would find some label parameters. If you do not find a parameter, you can create one. So let's call this the width. And let's create the depth from this strong reference plane to the weak reference plane here. Perfect. Now let's change the sizes of our width and depth. Now generally for your chairs, let's go to your family types here. Now generally for your chairs, the depth is around 600 to 800. So let's type 600 here. And the width would be 600 to 800. Now generally for your chairs, the depth would be about 600 to 800. And the width would be about 600 to 800 as well. So let's create a simple 600 by 600 chair. Click on apply. And this is the size of our chair. Now for starters, I will be creating a 2D family and later we'll add a 3D in it. So what we can do is, in this family, we can use under annotation, symbolic lines. And let's select furniture projection. Make sure you select rectangle and make sure to select the intersections. So to make sure you're selecting the intersections, tap SI on your keyboard, click on this point and tap SI again to select the intersection and click on this point. Now, since we're using the intersections, you do not have to lock it. It would be parametric on its own. So if I extend this, you can notice that it is parametric. What we can also do is create some types. So let's go to family types here. The type 1 can be 600 by 600. Type 2 can be 750 by 750. So let's change the depth to 750 here and the width to 750 as well. And type 3 could be 800 by 800. So a pretty big chair. So this could be 800 by 800. And then click on apply. What I also like to do is control the headrest for our chair. So I'm going to create a reference plane here. And I'm going to draw a dimension from the bottom, the strong reference plane to the weaker reference plane. And let's call this either the backrest depth or you can call it the headrest depth. So this is the backrest depth. Click on OK. And we can create a line here as well. So go to annotate, click on symbolic lines. And make sure you're selecting the intersection of the reference planes and not these lines here. So what you can do is you can temporarily hide these lines. Select these lines using the control key on your keyboard to select multiple lines. Then go to your icon here, temporary hide isolate, and click on hide element. So this way we can see our reference planes better. And then let's go to annotate, click on symbolic lines, and let's start from this intersection to this intersection here. Perfect. And once you're done, you can reset temporary hide isolate as well. Now let's quickly check if this is parametric in nature. So let's switch to 600 by 600. Let's also change the headrest for each of these types. So for the 600 by 600 chair, we can give a headrest of say about 25 mm. 750 by 750 would be about 30 mm. And 800 by 800 could be about 40 mm. Let's make this a bit more thicker. Maybe 70 mm here would work better. Perfect. All right, so we have 3 types. We can save this family. So tap Ctrl S and let's rename this to A_chair_2D. And let's give the version number 2026. Let's also keep the file save options to 1 and not 3. You do not have to have too many backups of this family file. Now let's click on save. And then let's load this into our project. Now, in case you want to see the recently viewed projects, you can click here on the top, which is the home button, or you can tap Control D on your keyboard. So this would switch to the start view in Revit, and you can see the recently opened projects here. So I'm going to open the recently opened project, edited project that is, and I'm going to load my family in here. So let's go back to our family and let's click on load into project. And now we can place it in place. Now, in case you would like to rotate it, you can tap the space bar and then you can simply place it in place. So I'm going to click here and make sure you're placing it on the finish flow level as well. So I'm going to place it on the finish flow level. You could also reduce the size. So select the chair. So right now it's 600 by 600. That should work. Now, what's also interesting to note is that I can add a mask to the 2D family so that I can mask off these lines here. So to do that, you can go back to your family. Now, instead of adding lines here, we also have something called mask. So if you go to annotate, you can notice we have a masking region here. So select masking region. And then again, start from your reference plane. So from this point, so SI. Also make sure to switch to a rectangle. It's easier to just create a rectangle. So start from this intersection, tap SI again, and select this intersection here. Now, if you'd like, you can lock it, but since you selected the intersection, it should work fine. What's also interesting is that these lines here actually belong to furniture projection. So what you can do is you can actually delete those other lines and only keep your mask lines here. So let me just quickly delete the other lines and then create the mask, because we would have two lines on top of each other. So I'm going to use the tab key on my keyboard to select the perimeter and then click on delete. And then I'm going to go back to annotate, select mask region, use the rectangle tool and click from this intersection to this intersection here, and then click on finish edit mode. So now if I load this back into my project and overwrite the existing version, boom, it hides those flooring lines as well. By the way, these are 2D families, and the reason why I made them as 2D families is to reduce the size on our model. This would really help in the concept stage of your model. This would really help in reducing the size of your project. And imagine if you're working on a very large scale project, and if you're using 2D families, it would increase the performance of your Revit model. I would highly recommend that you use 2D models, especially at the planning stage. And only if the client requires that you need to show the 3D models, then you can switch to 3D. But in the next video, we learn to convert this 2D into 3D as well. We learn to add some chair legs, backrest, and a whole lot more. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.